Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe football show. It's time for your pre-match press conference. I know a lot of you were having issues in seeing the the presser. Obviously, it was muted at the start, and then when it came on, it was Dalek. But I think that's more to do with YouTube, because on Twitter you could actually hear it still. Not the muted bit, but the Dalek thing went when it was over on thing, and then it got took down, didn't it? But yeah, we have a bit of a shambles of the media team. You are right. Like, it's Premier League or Championship at front and centre, League One behind the scenes. I thought that'd change, but that sort of stuff is a bit mad, isn't it? Hope you're all right. Anyway, smash me a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, and of course hit that notification bell. We're here to talk about Portsmouth and everything Daniel Farke had to say. Congratulations are in order as well, because Daniel Farke and Daniel James both won Manager and Player of the Month respectively. Daniel Farke actually becomes the first Leeds manager to win 5 Manager of the Months. So yeah, again, another record broken. Another ticked off the list. Daniel Farke has become the first Leeds manager or head coach to win 5 Manager of the Month awards in the club's history. So props to him for that. He was asked specifically, yeah, Vic, inept though, remember, exactly, inept. So Manager of the Month, he was asked specifically about that. Happy International Women's Day as well. Big up Dawn, I hope you're doing well. So he said, look, Manager of the Year wouldn't be bad, but yes, I will take another award. It's a reward for the whole group and staff. We won each game in February, and it's brought us to a good position, but it's a season, not just a month. So the focus is on the next game and the upcoming games. The awards, they go in cupboards. In 30 years, when you have a glass of wine, maybe you'll open the cupboard, but I'm not in a reflection mode right now. I don't value them that much like I should perhaps do. He's all about eyes on the prize. What's the eyes on the prize? Manager of the Year, individual awards, but also winning the league for Leeds United, getting Leeds United promoted. But it's a massive positive. And like you say, it does just put balls to the walls in all them people that said he was inept, that he's not good enough. Because he's now in the history books. I mean, he continues to break records, but he now will be which manager at Leeds United has the most Manager of the Months? Daniel Farke, in 2 seasons as well. It's not as if he's been here in age. So big up to Farke for that. It is a landmark. And also Daniel James as well. I mean, what a season he's having. I was one that said, look, I'm not feeling Daniel James in the Champo last season, at the start of last season. I said that technically he wasn't good enough. I mean, that part of his game has come on leaps and bounds. And again, Farke has to take props for that. But Farke spoke about his Player of the Month, and he said he is excellent, outstanding for this level. It's always difficult to compare players in the Championship because of different positions, but he's right up there. He fully deserves to be in the spotlight, and all credit goes to him and for all his hard work. You always get what you are willing to invest. And we know that Dan James is an honest professional who'll work really, really hard. He says Daniel is an outstanding player and special with his skills. His personality is an unbelievable lad as well. Always thinking about the team and working his socks off, which we saw, if you remember the playoff final when he came on and that big scar, that big gash on his head. He says he has improved his end product, which is due to his work ethic, which again is something that we've bemoaned in the past. And listen, you can't get away from the fact that he has improved his end product, and his G&A have shown that. He's proven he's one of the best players at this level. To have a promotion under your belt is what you want to have as a player. And I think, look, we will get that this year. I'm still very confident going into it. And we have reasons to be confident as well, because thankfully Joseph isn't amiss. There has been no further injury crises at Leeds United. He was asked about the team news, and he said everyone who is available for the last game is available for this game. They've all been able to recover well from hits and knocks, which is a massive positive. So we have a fully fit squad, or a squad that we had fit for the previous fixture. Bamford, he was partly integrated into team training. Fucking hell, they can't just throw him into team training. He's got to be partly integrated. He was out for 9 weeks, but he was able to handle the load. Good news for him. He's making progress. Rehab for Ampadu and Voba. Hopefully we'll have them more or less on the other side of the international break. He says with Voba, it's pretty clear it'll work out. So other side of the international break, we'll have Max Voba back. With Ethan Ampadu, it said still an opportunity. He needs surgery. But at the most, he looks like he could join us for the running. I don't think we'll see Ethan again. Because let's say after the international break, we're a couple of wins or we're very close. There's no point risking him. You might as well send him for surgery and get him ready for next season. So I don't think personally we'll see Ethan again, if I'm honest. That all depends on how well we're doing, I guess. But Voba back into national break. Bamford's partly integrated into team training. And everyone else is good to go. So that is decent. Obviously, we've had a full week between games as well. We don't play till Sunday, so that's a positive, and that's why I think Leeds United will be different fettle come Sunday. I think we're going to be good. But he did say that Monday and Tuesday we relaxed. We gave him some time, calm down the load a bit after a busy period with many games. Obviously, we've got another busy period coming up. We play Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday. Bam, bam, bam. And it's the early kickoff on the Saturday. So, yeah. He said it's important to let them recharge. It's not easy to give them time off, but it is necessary. You need to let them recharge rather than push and burn out so that they don't have the energy. I'm not fearing that they don't use the day off to do any stupid things, go off to different climate zones or whatever. Players know what they have to do to be successful. They look after themselves. I don't think any of us look at the group. I think it's an honest group that we've got, a really honest group that we've got. Manor was in Whitby enjoying downtime and fish and chips. There you go. Was that on his Instagram, Dawn? I don't have many of the players on Instagram, to be honest. But yeah, there you go. Manor was in Whitby, probably going to see Barmstoker. What is it? Brown Stoker's Dracula? Barmstokers? Something like that. I forgot the name of the author now. Is it Bram Stoker? Oh, Dawn follows his fiance. There you go. There you go. So they were over in Whitby. Bram Stoker, that's it. What did I call him? Bam. I was close. Bram Stoker. So yeah, probably doing that. Actually, I really want to take my kids. Actually, it'd be cool. I think. Joseph and the subs. Then he was asked about the sub situation and what's going on there. And he said, look, just on them, they have to use each and every second. That's what I'm looking for, not just for Matteo, but for all. Not to cheat and lurk. This is what I liked about Matteo's last display to carry the ball forward. He was excellent in pressing. They automatically use goals and assists as a barometer of whether or not someone's played well. But he said his best behaviour is when he puts intensity in this. He's always had a really important impact on the team in recent weeks. And a few of us have mentioned that when he's come on, he's been a willing runner and he's not just running around for the sake of it. How does he keep substitutes happy? I think it's leading to the conversation around Ramazani, etc. Really. He says, look, I know I can't keep all my players happy, but I'm not here to win the Nobel Peace Prize. Deep inside, I love my players. I'm not a robot. I know how desperate the players are to help and support the team, but even players on the bench, you get this sense they are even happier than those on the pitch when we score. With this team, they are not feeling just about themselves. The spirit in the group is second to none. It hurts when I can't play them. But this is the territory. He did go into some individuals. If you just let me have a look and find that. There's a lot of repeating. They are not thinking just about themselves. They're thinking about the group. Players like Willie, there comes a moment, and then there is a chance to use that. The spirit and vibe in this group is second to none. We know, like, we've seen different scenarios. He did touch on Ramazani, but they don't seem to have made the minutes on that. But yeah, there was he touched on Schmidt as well about him having time and stuff. It's Ramazani and Schmidt. My guy's just not changing a winning team. It makes sense. Yeah, he doesn't hate any of them, does he? But yeah, look, they all will want to be involved. They all will want to be involved, but ultimately, they can't. They can't. And then he was asked about the running and the experience that he has. Obviously, we know he's been successful previously in his time. He's won promotions out of this division, I think he actually gave us like the specifics, but he did say, look, to round it off, to sort of give you quick synopsis, if you like. He said, experience helps. Experience massively helps. He used Bayern Munich losing in the Champions League, and then the next year they regrouped and won it. And I remember having this conversation actually with, I think it was Connor. When we won the league and Brentford were coming up, and he fancied them, and I said, look, they'd never. I remember saying they'd never been in the playoffs up to that point. You can't just go from never being in the playoffs to winning the league. It just doesn't happen. I mean, sometimes it does. I says it's experience counts for a lot. And then if you remember the following season, Brentford get in the playoffs, they get to the final, and they lose to Fulham. Then that experience gained, they go on and get promoted. Leeds United under Bielsa didn't have that experience. The following season, we romped the league by 10 points, and that's why I'm confident we'll do it this time. Experience counts for a lot in football. So if we have these moments, like the draw against West Brom last season, us fans, some fans are still saying, yeah, what about that last season? These lads will have come on for that. Sorry, I'm just reading Yorkshireman's comments. I think you're being daft if you think that he doesn't like them. That can be only the logical reason. Madness. But he says experience helps. I remember when Bayern Munich lost the Champions League to a different club, the next year they regrouped and won it. A few of us in the squad know about lifting titles. There is no replacing that winning feeling. We can take motivation out of disappointment. 100%. We can take more motivation out of disappointment. Things can only get better and all that jazz. Yeah, that's a good point, Dawn, when you're talking about the subs. They are getting minutes, though. They are getting minutes. Like Dawn says, look at how they played in the FA Cup, time to shine, and really didn't. There has been many moments. Nonto took his chance the other week, and then he was used first. He sort of leapfrogged Ramazani. There was a time when Nonto wasn't getting off the bench. When you get given an opportunity, you've got to take it, because this squad is unbeaten in 17. Why would you want to upset the apple cart? If you're winning continuously, you don't change it. We are a juggernaut. We are an absolute juggernaut. It's not charity. It's not Nobel Peace Prize, as he said himself. Don't give out charity minutes. You've got to earn them. Got to earn them. This whole thing earlier in the season of like, well, Joseph should have a run of games and then he might get into... No, I ain't got time for that shit. What if you'd have given him a run of games and he's still firing blanks? Yeah, but it's a fact. It's football. Farker wants to win, has to win, must win. Otherwise, it'll be him who gets his P45. Are you going to stand there and say, well, you shouldn't have sacked him because, he gave a run in to Joseph and that's what we wanted? No. Points win your prizes. Goals win your games. Great point, Sean. Look at Tanaka and Rothwell. They took their chances. Pirro took his chance. Guess what? Pirro didn't start the season as the striker. Came off the bench. Bang, 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 bang. Bang, 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 bang. And we weren't burnt out last season, Yorkshireman. We're the fittest side. We were not burnt out last season. Got worked out. We're not burnt out. They weren't leggy. They were not leggy, this team last season. They weren't. Can talk about, Somerville getting dealt with second half of the season, doubled up on, struggling to have moments. Can talk about that. But they weren't burnt out. Yeah, exactly, Vic. This is the point. I know he has them doing double, triple sessions. They're fit. And I ain't about to be kicking off because, Ramazani didn't get some charity minutes. That Joseph only got charity minutes. I'm not asked. Because guess what? We're 17 unbeaten. There's nothing to cry home about. Nothing. Like, it's cool. Cool, calm, collected, composed. Solomon took his chance when Ramazani got injured, just like Ramazani had taken his chance prior to that, after Solomon got a knock. Yes. We will touch on this now as well. That was the presser in a nutshell anyway. We will touch on this information as well. So Leeds United are looking to appoint Peter McCormick ahead of the Angus Kinnear exit. This was in The Athletic, which I'll share with you now, and we will go through it. So Leeds United will appoint, this is from David Ornstein and Beren Cross, Leeds United will appoint Peter McCormick as a new non-executive director as part of their response to Chief Exec Angus Kinnear expected departure. News of him broke last month, and the 47-year-old appears set to join the Premier League club. While Kinnear would not depart Leeds until the end of the season, 49ers Enterprises, the club's owners, has moved to hire McCormick immediately. McCormick, a vastly experienced lawyer, has held numerous senior positions across the FA and Premier League. In November 2020, McCormick became interim chairman of the FA, replacing Greg Clark until January 22. Then in the same month, he was unanimously appointed by the 20 clubs as interim chairman of the Premier League until January 2023. He still holds seats on 3 FA committees. That can only be a benefit to us. He is chairman of the Premier League Stadium Fund and trustee of the Football Foundation. McCormick, who previously held a director role at the club in the 90s, he's not expected to be a temporary hire at Ellen Road and will oversee the transition between Kinnear and a long-term replacement. Generally, non-executive directors advise and oversee a company's executive team without managing day-to-day operations. McCormick would, for example, represent Chairman Parag Marathi at meetings when the American is unable to attend. United's long-term plans for its chief executive position remain up in the air. Kinnear will continue to steer the ship through the closing months of the season, buying the ownership time. Meanwhile, McCormick will start supporting the executive team immediately, which you'd imagine there's going to be a lot of churn and a lot of change. New CEO, maybe a sporting director that we talked about yesterday that apparently Joe Donoghue, I did see that said that's not going to go, or Leeds said, don't know what you're talking about, but there's clearly things going off in the background, and that seems like a really shrewd appointment. Don't know much about McCormick, but the fact that he's on all sorts of like FA and he was voted by the Premier League clubs to be the chairman of the Premier League and all that sort of stuff can only be a good thing, right? You know, if you've got that person in your corner, happy days. But that's it from me, folks. That's it from your presser. There wasn't much in it other than we've got manager at month, player at month, everyone's fit. Bamford's integrated into team training, partly, whatever that means. We will have Voba back after the international break. Maybe we'll have Ampadu back. He may need surgery, though. And that'll be it. There might be a preview later on. There will be 2. Well, they're at the same time, but I'm doing the championship games at 3 o'clock tomorrow. So make sure you join me for that. So I will be live from about 2:45. I'll tell you what them games are now. So I know Sheffield United play Preston, Burnley play Luton, both kick off at 3 o'clock, so we'll be there for that. Then Sunday, Leeds play Portsmouth, and that'll be your weekend on the Just Joe Football Show. Hope you enjoy your Friday night. Happy International Women's Day, and I'll speak to you all. Maybe there'll be a pre-record preview first thing in the morning. If not, I'll see you for the games at 3 o'clock tomorrow, where hopefully Preston can do something against Sheffield United and Luton can pull one out of the bag against Burnley, although I think they'll probably both win. Peace out, folks. Leeds is Leeds.